Buy land. They're not making it anymore. This logic applies to all assets where the supply is limited and the demand is everlasting. In the last quarter of a century, we have seen virtual assets create billionaires, rewarding their foresight to buy and hold online real estate ahead of everyone else. Oil, gold, land, timber were the rage of the 1850s. Today, NFTs and crypto are the newest kids on the block. In the 90s, domain names were the open range land parcels of the internet. Let's see what a domain name is worth.
Hi, I'm Bharat Kanodia. I have appraised over 2,000 businesses, including tech companies like Uber, Airbnb, and unique assets like the Brooklyn Bridge. I help owners by telling them what their business is worth.
There are over 360 million domain names registered virtually, and 5 million get added to this list annually, creating a unique marketplace for investors, traders, and speculators. There are 3 things to consider when valuing domain names.
1. Extension. .com is better than .net or .co. Relevancy on both sides of the dot is important. For example, home.loans is more valuable than home.xyz.
2. Length and specificity. Shorter the domain, the better. Barbershop.com is far more valuable than jimsbarbershop.com or barbershopboston.com.
3. Relatable. Does your domain have a brand recognition? Does it contain a household keyword or a company or a brand name? If so, that domain is more valuable to people in that specific industry or who are targeting the same audience. For example, buying a Tesla.com is more valuable than buying an electric car.com.
My colleague and SEO and content marketing expert, Hema Day, will share her thoughts on the latest on domain names. All you, Hema.
Thanks, Bharat. Valuation of a domain name can be very complex. I would urge you to follow these tips. 1 is definitely do a search on something like GoDaddy. If it's a domain name that you really want, it shouldn't really cost you more than $11 or less, or a little bit more a year to host that domain name. Now, a client came to me this week. He is an attorney, and he wants to buy an additional domain name that he feels may benefit his business. And this domain name was valued at $17,000. Now, that's a lot of money for a domain name. How do you decide whether this is worth investing in? Now, firstly, look at it in terms of whether it's going to yield you any traffic. Traffic from the standpoint of keyword analysis on Google is super important. If it's not going to yield you any traffic from it, then don't get it. The second thing is it associated with a pre-existing website? If yes, then take a look at what that website's doing, what kind of traffic it's bringing, what kind of leads it's actually getting. And last of all is take a look at whether it's actually going to add value to your bottom line. And by that, I mean lead generation. Quite often, a domain name is associated with a branding strategy. And if that doesn't work, then don't buy the domain name. And with that, I yield back to you, Bharat. Thank you.
Thanks, Hema. Great to have you. There are 2 ways you can value domain names. 1, look at what other domains are selling for. Visit namebio.com or namejet.com or buydomains.com and find a domain that's similar to yours.
For example, if your domain is homeappraisal.net, what are other sites with the word appraisal and extension.net selling for? When I looked up homeappraisal.net on namebio.com, 2 transactions showed up. appraisalpro.net which sold for $800 in 2011, and accurateappraisals.net, which sold for $490 in 2006. 2. Use domain name brokers or value estimators, including options from GoDaddy or STBot. All such websites are using similar algorithm to estimate domain name value. These two methods will give you a general idea of what your domain name is worth.
In the last 25 years, domain names have matured into an asset class. Today, they are the downtown commercial real estate of the internet. Which makes me wonder, which virtual assets are peaking or budding as we speak? Of course, crypto assets come to mind. The most valuable virtual asset today is probably the real estate preloaded apps occupy on the new iPhone or Android or tablet or PC. I wonder what that virtual real estate is worth. Thanks for watching.